challenges that's being faced, which everyone in this room has faced for the last couple of years, is on labor, right? Labor is probably one of our biggest challenges. Here in the state of Texas, I think we're running about 89 job seekers for every 100 job openings. The surrounding states are even worse. Labor is one of the biggest challenges. And so putting a dollar figure on that labor shortage, but also knowing that there's a lot of growth going on in the state of Texas and planning for that future. How do you put a dollar figure on the fact that we've got 20 people doing hand palletizing and can't hire them, right? We've heard that a lot. So now you're looking at going to more automation. So that's going to drive your automation decisions, whether you're doing robotic palletizers, you're doing autonomous forklifts, things of that nature. So a lot of that's going to drive that cost up. That initial startup of a multi-million-dollar system is a lot more expensive than that $50,000 head count that's out there. So planning for that is a challenge we're all facing for sure.
We saw on that in COVID. With COVID, we have these warehouses that were operating with forklifts and they call up and say, I can't come in, I've got a problem. And so it just crippling the operation is what it was doing. And so a lot of people were coming to us and say, hey, what technologies can I use to be able to help supplement that? We're using the autonomous forklift truck is what we were doing. And then as they were looking at the ROI to be able to justify that, you can go right to HR and you can find out about your burden cost for that individual. You can look at your leasing on your forklift truck that you currently have. You can look at the maintenance costs. And another thing that we've asked them to look at is being able to onboard individuals, because it's tough to be able to do that, and also the training. And so as you throw those metrics together, sometimes you'll find that your ROI can be just a matter of a few years. But the more complicated and integrated systems that we seem to deal with, you need to be able to understand and project out what's the life of the system going to be at the same time and throw that into equation. Because if you look at larger integrated systems, maybe it's ASRS, conveyor, AGV, fully integrated with the software control system, plus is where it better be. And so you again throw that into the equation on that ROI for that total cost.
Yeah, I'd like to sit on this labor thing for just another minute or so. This is a little bandwagon thing for me because I think it's a big deal. Demographics, right? We hear a lot about demographics and the change in baby boomers leaving the marketplace. Those people born from 1946 to 1964, they're aging out of the workforce. That's 132 million people. The United States only has 330 million people. So who's going to backfill those positions? So what it means for us as automation people, whether we're in distribution or automation companies, is we've got to figure out how to supplement that, right? So this understanding how to do IRR and return on investment will become even more important. And I think as it relates to your question is, what do you do when you don't have people, right? We talk about justifying the removal or displacement of people traditionally with ROI, but today, what do we do if we don't have people, right? So your initial investment goes up, but who's going to work the job? Who's going to do the job? And so I think that is a real critical one of how do we handle that today, or how do you do it in the future?
And on top of that, a lot of that labor, you're taking away hands-on labor workers, but we also have to replace that when we're putting these automated systems in. We've got skilled technicians to work on that material, right? So kind of changes that element.
The skill set of the worker.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about yesterday. Is we were looking at automotive industry, and I believe it was a decade ago they let 600,000 people go, and the reason why is because they had brought in automation. That automation coming, and yet today they're looking at being able to go ahead and onboard 600,000 people that they need for the technology now that they've put in place, and so. The individual is never going to go away. It's always going to be required. We just need to be able to repurpose them because of the shortages that you were talking about.